everybody, and welcome back to Art by Flan. Today we are working on some good old-fashioned fan art. That's right, folks. I am drawing one of my very favorite characters. Recently one of my very favorite characters ever, Rose Quartz from Steven Universe. I have always been a larger individual in my life, so you can imagine how hard it is to find characters in media who look like me, and you can imagine how happy I was when I discovered Steven Universe and found Rose Quartz, and she's big and she's beautiful and people love her, and I just love her so much. So of course, when I felt like doing some fan art the other day, I definitely had to draw her. I've drawn her once before and she just hits all the right notes with me. She's a big lady, she's got big hair and a big dress, and all that just, you know, comes out to a great big yes for me. So I drew Rose. This sketch looks a little bit different than my usual sketches because this was done traditionally in my sketchbook. The original sketch was done in just a Strathmore, like, pocket sketchbook or whatever with the a Prismacolor Colorase pencil, which I just started using those recently and I absolutely love them. Oh, I love Colorase pencils. They are so much fun to draw with. When you've been drawing with, you know, plain gray lead for so many years, finding an erasable colored pencil that you can work with is just great. So now all my sketches in my sketchbook that I don't ink or color with Copics look like a rainbow. It's so great. I love it so much. So one of the hardest parts about this particular piece was it took a while just to ink and color her hair. Those are probably the longest parts of this whole fiasco because she has so much of it, and you know, I love that. I love to draw lots and lots of hair in big poofy dresses, and like I said, she just hits all those notes with me. So of course I love to draw Rose. I've got plenty of scribbles of her, you know, just doodles in my spare time, but you know, I do love to sit down and do a good full piece for her. And normally things like this take a couple days for me because I'm either slow or I get distracted or whatever, but I actually managed to finish this whole thing in one night, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. And here you can see me trying to ink the other side of her hair, and I probably could have done it, but I just wasn't liking the way the second side was coming out. Like, you can see me trying to do my inking technique where I had thicker lines for most of it and thinner lines for the details, but I wasn't liking it. So I just decided to mirror her hair on both sides to give it, you know, more of a symmetrical feel, I guess. And so that's what you see me doing here, is copying things over and, you know, trying to get everything to look nice and feel right. And so I'm really happy I did that. And you're gonna hear most people say, oh, that's cheating, you should have just redrawn it. It's like, no, wait, man, no. There is no one right way to do art, and if you got the tools, man, use them. Like I said, I did draw the other side of her hair. It's clearly there in the sketch. I just decided I liked the inks on the other side better, so I duplicated them. No problem. So here I'm just going in and putting final details, and you can see that light sketch under there. I took the picture of the sketch with my cell phone. I got a scanner, but I don't scan finished pieces very often, so it's just like, I'll just use the cell phone. I'm not going to ink it digitally anyway. So yeah, that's what you can see. It's kind of not as clear and crisp. If I had actually planned to use the sketch as the line art or something, I probably would have scanned it, but for what I was doing with the piece, taking a picture of it with my cell phone was just as easy. Just as easy to do as, you know, scanning it or whatever. So I'm just putting in the details, and I'm taking it into Photoshop next. The little dots of color are, of course, my key. Instead of drawing it off to the side, since it's a full picture, I just put the dots where they should be. And here I'm going with the pen tool around her hair. Since she has so much hair, it would have taken me so long to color by hand, because I'm really slow at that as compared to the pen tool, which took me maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes to just do around the whole thing, if that even. So that just gets all of her hair done in one shot for base colors. And just adding the dress. What I love about her design is it is fairly simple, but it's really elegant, and it works really well for her. So it's really fun to draw, but it's not too overly complicated, which is great. And I'm just putting the details on her lips and her eyes. Since she doesn't really have an eye color in the show, I always just make them like a darker pink, just to bring her whole pink theme together, and it just adds. And that's another thing I love about Rose is she's pink. She's just like the perfect character for me. She's big, she's beautiful, she's got lots of hair, a big dress, and she's pink. So it's like she's made for me. Rebecca Sugar made Rose Quartz for me. So here I am just shading her hair. This took probably the longest because there is so much of it, and I did go a little overboard with the strand detail. This probably took the longest. I think it's the longest clip next to the line art in the actual project folder. So yeah, I love, like I said, I love to draw and ink hair, so I was just having so much fun. I really am happy with how this piece turned out. Like, I think I probably could have tweaked her arms a bit more. If you saw in the initial sketch, I had taken it in digitally and redrew her arm because it seemed like it was too short, and it still feels kind of too short, but I still love the piece. And you can always, you know, you can have constructive criticism about your pieces and still love them. So this is one of those where it's like, I really love this, and even though there are just a few errors that I could probably go back and fix, I like it how it is. I thought about making maybe a print of this. I'm not really familiar with making print, so it would probably be a first for me. I may look into that because I really like this image, you know, and I hope other people like it too, because Steven Universe is one of my favorite shows right now. And I know it's really popular. A lot of other people really love it, which is great because it's a great show and it deserves tons and tons of fans. So yeah, I might see if I can make this into a print. Maybe get a print store if anybody would be interested in that. I don't know. Oh, that's where Tool SAI crashed on me. So you gotta kind of preview my background there. I was working on it and I just saved and it just crashed, and I was like, no, not all of that work. So yeah, luckily I had just saved. That's another pro art tip: save often. Oh, I mean, if you feel like you're saving too much, you're not saving enough. Keep saving, because you never know when your art program is going to spontaneously combust and decide that it no longer likes you and just crashes. So yeah, always save a bunch. And I've just moved on to shading her dress right now. Again, I love flowy fabrics and lots of hair, and Rose is just so perfect for that. The only other character I can think who's just perfect, who hits all those right spots for me, is Princess Serenity. So I may do her if I'm still in the mood for big hair and fluffy dresses soon. So yeah, I'm just working on these layers here. Oh gosh, sometimes you run out of things to say. I had a thought, now it's gone. Don't you hate that? Yeah, so I was actually watching, my roommate came home. I have two roommates, and they actually, one of my roommates he works nights, so he was already here, but he was asleep. But my roommate, who works during the day like me, came home, so we ended up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, rewatching the whole series while doing this. So there were some long pauses that I had to cut out where we'd stop and chat about the show, or I'd get caught up watching or something. And so those were cut out, thank goodness. So you won't see the screen just sit there for, 15 minutes while I got sidetracked. So I ended up cutting that out. And here I am just shading under the layers. I couldn't decide if I wanted them all to be the same shade or if I wanted them lighter. And here I am, I sketched them out there, and I'm going in and filling them in. But I really like what I ended up doing. I'm glad I didn't make them all the same color and added a little bit more depth to the image. And I keep looking up references to shade faces, but I'm still just not happy with the way I'm doing them. So I'm still going to work on that. Getting faces to look not weird when I shade them. I'm just messing with her eyes. And lips is another thing. I sort of like how her lips are shaded here. But again, it's one of those things I just need to look at more references and practice more on. I've been doing lots of sketches and doodles in my books, in my sketchbook, to sort of practice at that. So I'm definitely going to be working on that. I took it back into Photoshop here, and I'm just changing the hue and saturation of the shades so they look a little better underneath all of her pink. And I also changed the line art color. I'm working on her pupils. And like I said, in my last video, I'm trying to put more detail into eyes, since my eyes seem to be getting progressively bigger as I draw them. Leaving them just plain doesn't look as nice, so I got a lot of detail going on in Rose's eyes, and they kind of glow. And when I was messing with the layers, I realized I liked her pupils lighter rather than the same color as the line art. So I think that turned out well. And here I am just adding in the gradients to give it, again, a little bit more depth, a little bit more pop, and just erasing over some of it that doesn't need it. See, you can see the undershades that I was working on before. They're almost the same color, but they're lighter than her regular shades, so it gives that another layer of depth to her dress. And then I'm backing into Tool SAI, just adding the highlights. Adding the highlights to a bunch of hair is so much fun. I just love drawing hair. It's my favorite thing. So I'm just adding the little highlights to her hair, making sure it's all sparkly and magical girly, because nothing says magical girl like pink shiny hair. So just adding those in. Like I said, there's a lot of hair, so you're seeing a lot of hair a lot of the time on this image. Side her lips, her eyes, her gem. Just make sure, everything looks nice, and just fiddling with see, whenever I use the airbrush tool in Tool SAI, I don't like it as much, so I ended up just giving up and going back into Photoshop and tweaking it there. So this last piece here, the last part, is me trying to get her gem to look glowy. I couldn't decide how I wanted it to look, so I went through tons of different options until finally settling on a real subtle glow, I guess, for her gem. I sort of wanted it to be big and bright, but I didn't want to attract away from like her face and her hair, and so I just ended up trying a lot of different things that I ended up not sticking with, and the end result became really subtle glow on her gem, like right there. And I ended up trying with the line art, without the line art, changing the color of the line art, and you know, I spent a good hour and a half just fiddling around with her gem, trying to get something that I liked. And I think what I ended up with is okay. It's not exactly what I wanted for her gem, but it looks okay. And here I am just painting in the background, just colorful, sparkly clouds, because nothing says magical girl. And it, actually, you know, now that I think about it, it's a really good callback to her room, which is a lot of pink fluffy clouds. So I think that turned out great. I didn't even realize that at the time when I did it. So yeah, nice callback to the Rose's Room episode. Now I'm just putting on a light borders to kind of bring an end to the image so it doesn't just fade off. And here we go. Here is the finished image. As always, you can find the higher res version in my DeviantArt glitches linked below, and see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.